And they're away. Steven Ferreira off to a good start. Into La Source. Not too much argy-bargy in the first turn as they head down to Eau Rouge. It's the Porsche, Beetle, and one of those three that are getting stuck into each other. Down the Kemmel Straight, a lot of drafting going on there. And as everybody settles, the cars start to spread out evenly on lap 1. Steven in a good lead. Sykes hard on his tail. Repsol follows. Got Alexi Planets in the Alpha, trying to get comfortable on this first lap. Almost lap 1 completed. Ferreira crosses the line with Sykes hard on his tail. Then it's Repsol. Then it's Lexi Planets. And then it's Grasser. Donnie Weber trying to close that gap. And Natterson not having a good start. Let's see if he can make up some ground. With lap 1 completed, I'm sure he's going to push hard to close down on the Lambo. A lot of acceleration for this Lambo down the straight, reaching speeds in excess of 266 k's an hour, around about somewhere around there. We've got Grasser right behind Planets. Planets needs to hold him off in order to keep that 4th or even gain a 3rd position. Alwyn's got a good lead on the Porsche. Let's see if he can open that gap. Steven's not going to let this go easily, I can tell you that much. His consistency is very good on this track. And consistency is what you need on Spa. The Porsche is one of the favourites on this track when it comes to Gran Turismo. It's an all-rounder. Very comfortable car to drive. Braking good, acceleration good, so we should get some good results from Steven Ferreira here. First, second and third battle is intense at the moment. Let's see if Alwyn can hold these two guys off. And Steven is passed. He's overtaken. That's up to the Beatles to stay with that Porsche, otherwise he gets a big enough gap, he's going to open up that gap and he's going to leave everybody behind. Lexi Planets trying to chase down the Porsche of Miguel Grassa. Through Eau Rouge. And through Eau Rouge goes Donnie Webber. A little bit loose through there, should pick up a penalty as he gets on the straight. Vivian trying to make ground from position 7. Porsche a little bit beaten up, but I don't think that's going to stop Vivian. And we go on board with Steven. Let's see how he does a good lap. Turns it in tight, gets on the gas early. Listen to those tires screech, holds that line nice and tight. Drops 2 or 3 gears. He has to keep his consistency, because I can tell you those Beetles will be right behind him if he doesn't keep it together. And he's shown quite a good amount of consistency so far. The last stretch, then it's the bus stop and over the finish line. And it's hard on the brakes. Into first gear through the chicane. And we've got the Beetles hard on his heels, trying to close that gap ever so desperately. Porsche of Grassa needs to close that gap as well on the guys ahead. Through Eau Rouge. And following is Alexi Planets. Planets needs to get comfortable in his car if he's looking to close that gap on the Porsche. Webber is chasing hard. You can see just how hard he's pushing that vehicle. Driving it on the limit. Vivian driving a little bit of a lonely race there, but I'm sure he's getting to grips with the track, just trying to find the comfort zone. And back with our leader. Ferreira pushing hard in front of the Beetles, trying to open up that gap. Once that gap gets to 3-4 seconds, the Beetles are not going to catch him unless he makes a huge mistake. We go on board with Sykes. Oh, and Repsol makes a dive on the inside of Sykes, but goes a little bit wide. It gives Sykes a little bit of breathing space to not worry about what's behind him and worry about chasing down Ferreira in the Porsche. And through La Source. Hard on acceleration. You can just see how hard these guys are trying to drive just to keep their positions and gain on the guy in front of them. And through Eau Rouge, this should be flat out. This is the only place really on this track where you can gain any time on your competitor in front of you. as you catch quite a draft slipstream through the Kemmel Strait. Gap closing ever so slightly through the short part of the circuit. The Porsche's got incredible acceleration, so as soon as he gets a good exit, he pulls away. Stephen knows the Beetle is breathing down his neck. He has to keep this the pressure on, keep as consistent as he possibly can to stay ahead. Consistency is key on this track, and that's what wins this race. We've seen with the guys in Pool 1 and Pool 2, the consistency is the winner. Fast and smooth lines. Through the bus stop. And we've got Grasser also trying to close that gap on the front guys. Lexi Planet's also in a little bit of a lonely space, bit of space in front of him, space behind him. If he can close the gap on the Porsche, it might put a bit of, hopefully get a 4th position. Whoever comes down towards Eau Rouge. Just hear how that bull screams through there. This is Webber's opportunity to gain time. Guys look like they're eventually getting comfortable, a few laps in, and trying to gain on the car in front of them. We drive now with Sykes. It's just turbo and tires with these Beetles. Sykes has to close the gap on Repsol in order to move forward. Keeping in the slipstream, that's what's closing the gap ever so slightly. Let's see what happens here on the bus stop. Will he go for the dive? Oh, and he doesn't. He gives Repsol a bit of a nudge, still keeps it tidy. And Ferreira is opening up that gap, that's for sure. If he keeps his consistency and this pace, he has a sure win on his hands. Grasser through Eau Rouge. Also not running too much of a bad race. Fairly consistent. Needs to close the gap though. Lexi Planets also seems to have settled down on on the circuit, making his way forward. Oh, and Webber goes wide. Luckily he could recover from that. He will not be happy with that. Let's hope he can shake off that time penalty and still keep his pace. Awesome sounding machine that. Natterson has a bit of a bruised and battered Porsche there. Also finding his comfort, it looks like. Oh, gets it all wrong. Oh, he's also not going to be happy with that. We go on board with Grosser. He has the cars in view down that straight. He just needs to close that gap to gain any sort of position. We are aboard with Alexi Planet. It's how he goes through this section. Running it to the limits. Donnie Webber trying to get his groove back after that little spill. Once you're in a groove and you go off track, it can unsettle you slightly, and you got to get the feel of it again. Natterson also just making his way through, trying to hold that Porsche onto the black stuff. And we're back with Ferreira. Definitely opened up the gap. His consistency is what's going to help him leave the rest behind. If he can hold this the way he's been driving, he's going to surely have a good result. Repsol needs to close on this in order to get anywhere near a first place finish. Sykes is also chasing hard. You can see he's driving on the limit. Grass is slowly starting to take a bit of time out of Sykes. get the lap times up here so we can see what's Sykes desperately trying to close that gap on Repsol through the bus stop. And Stephen onto Camel Straight. Repsol has to get into his slipstream if he's going to make any ground on the Porsche. Faster sector time there for Stephen. He's definitely pushing. He does not want any of those Beetles behind him. There you can see just how big the gap is to get an idea on how hard Grasser's got to drive. My apologies, the Porsche is actually Arthur Pereira. That is actually Arthur Pereira in that Porsche, sorry. We go on board with Arthur. Through Eau Rouge, one of the most famous pieces of a racetrack. If you know how to do Eau Rouge correctly, you gain a lot of time on your lap time. Also pushing it to the absolute limit. Has there been any ground made by Repsol? No, Stephen continues to open up the gap. Sykes is also pushing hard to try and get his second place position back. Stephen crosses the line to start his final lap. Even though the gap is fairly big, he still needs to keep his consistency and keep his smoothness and his speed. One small mistake on this track and you've got that second place overtaking you and taking your position. A little bit loose through Eau Rouge and flat out down the Camel Straight. Pereira doing a good personal sector time there. Lexi Planets makes to the end of Camel Straight through the tight section. Donny Weber looks like he has a comfortable 6th position there. Verve cautiously making his way around the track to start his final lap. And with only one turn to go, it looks like Stephen will take the win. And approaches bus stop. And Stephen Ferreira takes the win, followed by Vaughan Repsol. 3rd place, doing a victory dance, Alan Sykes. Coming in a comfortable 4th, Artur Pereira. Lexi Planets making it through the final turn before he takes his checkered flag in 5th position. Donny Webb still pushing hard through the bus stop, finishing in 6th position. Vivnet Netterson takes 7th position. Awesome race, well done to Stephen Ferreira for taking the win.